Hi, and welcome to Photography Tuesday, a very special time of the week where I focus on one quick tip, you learn something new, and then go on with your day. Let's dive in. Today we're talking about metering modes, the way how you set up your camera to understand how bright the scene is. There are basically three different ways how your camera measures lights, and you can find them here on that orange button there. The first one of them is called Evaluate or Matrix, and that kind of evaluates the whole scene as a whole. Honestly, I use this kind of a 99.9% of the time. It's great for everything as it balances the highlights and the shadows. You can have a pretty decent idea not to overexpose or underexpose your photo. The second way how your camera meters the light is called center weight average. It basically considers mainly what's in the center of the photo. It kind of does ignore a little bit the brighter and the darker parts of the corners of the photo as it focuses on the middle. It's really good for when you're doing portraits. And then last but not least is called spot metering, which is basically you set up a specific part of the photo you want the camera to read and will focus on that part. When do you use that? Well, they can be handy in a very tricky light situation when you're trying to focus on something that's backlit so you have the right exposure on your subject. How do I use this? As I said before, 99.9% I am on evaluative mode. Pro tip, just start in evaluative mode and play around with it. Test it out, do not test on the photo shoot. And just make sure you understand how each mode works. Also, if you're taking your photos in RAW, there's a lot of information on the blacks and in the whites that you can recover as long as it's not super over or underexposed. But yeah, evaluative mode 99% of the times. It always works. There's no need for complicating something that's not complicated. Next week, back button focus mode, when you use this button here rather than half click to set your focus. We'll see you next week.